Good morning to all of you.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Okay. So today we will discuss about array. So as you all know, array is the collection of or group of similar type of data items which stores in a contiguous memory location. You all know this concept, and the same concept is same here also. So array is the collection, array is the group of elements which is stored in continuous memory location. Okay. So, but there is some difference in Java array. The definition is same. Array is the group of element and stores in contiguous memory location. Store in contiguous memory location. Actually, in C or C++, there is a facility of pointer. So it is very easy to take the base address and performs pointer arithmetic operation in order to traverse the array, because the array are stored in contiguous memory location. So you just apply the array arithmetic, sorry, pointer arithmetic, and if you know the base address of array, you will be able to traverse the whole array. Okay. Now, what is the difference between Java array and C or C++ array? So in Java, array is an object. This is the new thing in Java. Java array is an object. It is an object which stores, which contains elements of similar types, elements of similar data type, similar data type. So since array is an object, now the question is, if array is an object, so object of which type? Object of which type? So actually, Java array is an object of a dynamically generated class. A class is generated dynamically, and Java array is an object of that particular class. So it is an object of dynamically generated class. How can you know that? Actually, if you declare any array, so that array is basically, if array is an object of which particular class. So basically, with the help of program, you will be able to check the array which is declared by you, that particular array is of which type. Okay, we will see in the program with the help of a program. Okay, now the next thing is, if array is an object, how can you create array? How can you declare array, and then how can you initialize array? Okay, so array initialization or declaration. So
excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, the screen is not visible.
The screen is not visible. Okay.
No, sir.
It is visible, sir.
It is visible or not?
Visible.
Sir, it is visible.
Sir, visible, sir, it's visible.
दिख रही है ना? ठीक. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So array is an object of dynamically generated classes. So first we will see how can we declare an array. So basically in the lab session you have already seen it, how array is declared. So basically the general syntax of array declaration. So array declaration. In the case of Java programming language, when you declare any array, so at that particular moment, the memory is not declared. Actually, memory for array is not declared, because in the array declaration, the size is not specified. So how the array is declared? The array is declared like that. The general syntax is data type, and this is the symbol for array, and array, any array name. This is the variable name. This array is variable name. Variable name. This is user defined. So basically this is simple. You can declare array like this, like integer a, or you can also write like this, integer a this. So you can either choose this, you can or either choose it. There is no need to bother about this. Okay, कोई भी एक choose कर लीजिए, इसमें बहुत ज़्यादा सोचने की जरूरत नहीं है. ठीक, so this is how you can declare the array. But after the declaration of array, the next thing is how can you declare the memory? Okay. For the array means how much memory is required here, because in this case here you can see that the size is not declared here. So basically array is initialized by two means. The first way, you can declare the array like this. Yeah, you can initialize, sorry, you can initialize the array like this, means integer, suppose array, and if I write suppose 2 3 4, we can declare the array like this. Okay, like double b 2.3 4.6 8 7.2, suppose we can declare the array like this. This is the first way of array declaration. But actually this array is declared at the time, this is the method of array initialization at the time of declaration, means at the time of declaration you initialize the array, like in any programming language. The another way of array declaration is with the help of new keyword, with the help of new keyword or new operator. So with basically when you call the when you write the new keyword, actually a memory is generated in the heap area for the array. Since array is an object, so memory is allocated in the heap area. Heap area में array की memory allocate होगी. So this is the first way of array declaration. Array declaration as well as array initialization. Declaration and initialization both are different terms. Declaration is only this, and this is initialization, because when you write 2 3 4 integer array equal to 2 3 4, it means the memory for 3 elements are allocated. Now just come to the another way of array declaration as well as array initialization. You can declare like this, integer a is equal to new integer, and here you can put the size. Here you can put the size, any size. Suppose if I write 5, it means an array of 5 blocks of integer types are created. Okay, that is referred by a. So here basically array a is act as a reference variable which points to a memory location which is created in the heap area, and now with the help of a you will be able to access this. So if you write like this, integer a equal to new integer a 5, when basically an object is created. An object is created that is referred by a. So how can you initialize this particular array? Very simple. You can initialize the array like this. A0 is the first memory location. Suppose if I write 5, A1 is equal to 7, second memory location. Suppose it is 2, A2 equal to 7, A3 equal to 8, and A4 equal to suppose 5. Again, here it means the first element is 5, second element is 2, third element is 7, 8, and again 5. So in this way, you will be able to initialize the array. Okay. Now I just go to the program ID, NetBeans, and now show you how basically you can create the array and how you will be able to find out that the class of this particular array object, and is there any super class of this particular dynamically generated class, means जो dynamically generated class बन रही है इसकी भी कोई super class है जिसको ये inherit कर रही है. Just see here, if I write a program, I have already created a package here. So here you can see that array LEC is the class name, suppose, and this is the main method. Just create a class, any class, and create a main method, and here I just declare a array. Just declare an array. So integer a is equal to new integer, suppose 5. If I
Sir,
write this,
it is only visible.
okay. एक second. Sorry, ये actual में वो miss हो गया था share करना. Okay, I think now it is visible.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now here you can see that a class I have declared array lecture, array LEC, and in this is the main class because there is a main method here in it. And in this particular line I have created an array, integer a equal to new integer 5. That means an array, dynamic array is created. Actually, in C and C++, you can create a static array as well as dynamic array with the help of malloc and calloc. But in the case of Java, basically always dynamic array is created. This is the difference between C, C++ or Java array. Now, if this is an array and if array is an object, how you will be able to find out the class of this particular array? So after the declaration, just try to print the class. And see here, a is the reference variable which refer to an array object, okay, which is created in heap memory. So if array is an object, it means that particular object belongs to some class. So if I write a dot class, is there any function here? A dot get class method, a dot get class. So here, suppose this is an array, and just I write another array float f is equal to new float 5. Okay. Okay, and just try to print the class of float array, f dot get class. Get class is the method. Okay, now the thing is, get class is the method of which particular class? Okay, if get class is the method, it means there is some class where actually this get class method is defined. तो उसको भी अभी देखते हैं. But if I print this, so here I think if you try to see this, ये बहुत छोटी स्क्रीन पे दिख रहा है. Actually this is, I just copy this and paste here. इसको पेस्ट कर देना, अभी कमेंट कर देंगे. Actually the output is like this. Output is like this. Class half bracket I and half bracket f. I is for integer class and f is for float class. D for double class. So basically here this is the class name of dynamically generated class. Okay, and if this is the class of means it means the array is the array object belongs to this particular class, and float array belongs to this particular class. And suppose if I would like to find out the super class of these two classes, इन दोनों class की super class जानना चाहते हैं हम. If I try to find out the super class of this, so there is a method, I think, super class, get super class. Get super class. Okay. Get super class. Similarly, in the second line, just print this, Control C, and get super class. If I run this program, so the super class is java.lang.object. Java.lang.object. It means this both dynamically generated class inherits the object class. And object class in Java is the super class of all the classes. जो भी आप अभी तक बनाते आए हो, जितनी भी क्लास है, सब ऑब्जेक्ट क्लास सबकी सुपर क्लास होती ही होती है. ऑब्जेक्ट क्लास इन जावा इज द डिफॉल्ट क्लास Actually, all the classes which is made by the programmer, which is written by the programmer, is actually internally inherits the object classes. So and get class and get superclass. So in this way, you will be able to find that the superclass is the object class. So here you can see that basically array is the object of which particular class. Okay. Now I just comment this 2 line. In this way, the array is created. And how can you initialize the array? If you would like to initialize the array, so the first way of initialization is simply manual initialization like this. Take a second. A0 equal to 2. So basically this is very tedious job. Just take an element and initialize one by one. The another way of initialization is with the help of loop, because suppose there are 100 element, and if you would like to initialize to just and this basically 2 3 these is static in nature. Static means at the time of declaration you have to fix the value. But suppose if there is any for loop, so and in the for loop you can basically takes the input from the user also. So with the help of for loop you can initialize the array. So now, so how for loop works in the case of Java? So basically the simple way is for simply integer I, like all the means like C and C++, you can write like this: integer I equal to 0 and I is less than. So basically A is an object reference. So basically there is a method a dot length. So basically length method work same as the size of operator in C, a dot length and I plus plus. In this way you will be able to access the array A0, A1, A2, A3, A4 up to, and then you can initialize the array with the help of keyboard. Okay, with the help of keyboard you can initialize the array. So basically in the previous turn we have seen how we can take the input from the keyboard. So just how can we take the input from the keyboard? So just before the for loop I can take buffered reader, buffer reader br equal to new class new buffer reader. So basically buffer reader is the class of java.input output. So you need to include the okay, yeah, basically I already included. Basically this is the ID. So it will take already java. But manual if you do the program in Notepad or Notepad++, so you have to write like this: import java.input output dot asterisk. Either you can write dot asterisk or you can write java.input output buffer reader. So if you write java.input.asterisk, it means all the classes of input output package, but that is not recommended because all the classes are imported. But if you need only one classes, so then there is no need to import all the classes. Okay. So buffer reader br equal to new buffer reader, and here I think in the previous turn we have seen you can pass new input stream reader and here in new system.in, because system.in is responsible for keyboard system.in. Okay, what is the problem here? Input stream reader. So basically input stream reader, again you need to import this input stream reader class. So here import java dot input output dot input stream reader. Okay, fine. So two classes are imported. One is buffer reader and another one is input stream reader. And in this particular line, you can see that system.in, which is connected to keyboard, that stream is connected to input stream reader, and then input stream reader is connected to buffer reader. Basically, this is the example of stream chaining. Okay, and what is the benefit of stream chaining is here. Basically, multiple pipes are connected. एक तो keyboard से input stream reader, then input stream reader is connected to another pipe, logical pipe, that is buffer reader pipe, and now you have the reference of buffer reader class. And buffer reader class is very rich class, and basically it improves the performance. So with the help of various method, basically there is a read line method. With the help of read line method, you can take the input from the keyboard. Okay, so here in this case, suppose if you would like to initialize the array, how can you initialize? Just write system dot out dot println, means here basically this is the printing statement, println, enter the array element, enter element, which element? Enter element, sorry, enter element. What is the problem here? This is semicolon. Enter element. Now array is the A, and suppose I, this is the first element, and here suppose if I would like to enter an integer value with the help of br.readline, if I write br.readline, so basically readline here take the input in the form of a string, so there is no problem, you can convert it into the integer format. इसको integer में convert करने के लिए क्या करते हैं? Can anyone tell how can I convert this into integer?
Integer dot parseInt.
Yeah, integer is the wrapper class. Integer dot parseInit is the method. Okay, integer dot parseInit, right? And br dot readline. What is the problem here? br dot read line, integer dot parseInit, integer dot parseInit. Okay, take good. Actually, here this particular line, yeah, this particular method parseInit and read line here basically throw the, basically this read line method basically throws the input output exception. It may generate the input output exception. So there are two ways to handle the exception. Either you can throw the exception, or you have to handle the exception with the help of try and catch. Okay, तो अभी चूंकि एक्सेप्शन हैंडलिंग हमने पढ़ी नहीं है, तो सबसे अच्छा है कि थ्रो कर दो, अभी कुछ जरूरत नहीं है. Pose exception. How basically exception handling will done, we will see later, but till then we just avoid the exception with the help of throwing the exception. So exception is of type input output exception, so I just throw the exception. It throw input output exception. Okay, public static void main input output exception. What is the problem here? Cannot find class input output exception. So basically here again,
What is exception?
what is the question? What is exception?
Exception.
Exception, I think I have briefly discussed in the first class. Exception is the runtime error. Exception is the error, and which is generated at the runtime. But in the Java, basically Java is robust language, so it can handle the error. Yeah, it can avoid the error. Avoid the error means suppose there are 10 lines in a single program, and in the 5th line, if any error is generated, so in all other language like C and C++, so in the 5th line, if the error is generated, the program is not executed after the 5th line. But in the case of Java, if in the fifth line if the error is generated, so if you properly handle that particular error, तो वो पांचवी line execute नहीं करेगी, but after the fifth line the program basically will run smoothly. So basically Java handle the exception in such a way that after the error or after the exception your program is successfully executed. ठीक है, तो आपका अगर एरर आती है रन टाइम्स पे, तो वो जावा में क्या होगा कि वो उस एरर के बाद भी आपका प्रोग्राम एग्जीक्यूट करेगा. फिफ्थ लाइन एग्जीक्यूट नहीं करेगी, वहां एरर आ रही है, लेकिन 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 आगे की एग्जीक्यूट करेगी. दिस इज द बेनिफिट ऑफ एक्सेप्शन. And basically how this is achieved, so this is achieved with the help of properly handle the exception. Now properly handle the exception, and how to handle the exception, either by throwing the exception or with the help of try and catch block. Basically exception handling is the separate chapter, so I'm not going into the much detail on those particular chapter. I will discuss exception handling detail, and there are various classes for exception handling. So I will basically take a separate lecture of exception handling. So till then basically ये आप समझ लो कि Java is very smart language that can handle the error. ठीक है, बाकी प्रोग्राम में बीच में 1000 लाइन का प्रोग्राम है, 800 लाइन के बाद एरर आ गई टर्मिनेट हो जाएगा, बट जावा बेसिकली 800 लाइन तक एग्जीक्यूट करेगा इफ द एरर अकर, एंड आफ्टर उसके भी एग्जीक्यूट करेगा. ओके, तो बेसिकली इनपुट आउटपुट एक्सेप्शन इज आल्सो ए क्लास, so basically you need to import here, we need to import here. ये पूरा डिस्कस होगा, इसलिए टेंशन मत लेना. इनपुट आउटपुट एक्सेप्शन एक्चुअली हमको लेकिन एक्सेप्शन की जरूरत पड़ेगी. तो इनपुट आउटपुट एक्सेप्शन, तो इफ यू इंपोर्ट द जावा डॉट इनपुट आउटपुट एक्सेप्शन, देन इनपुट आउट यू कैन थ्रो द इनपुट आउटपुट एक्सेप्शन लाइक दिस. नाउ हियर यू कैन सी दैट. यस
सर, अगर एरर आ रहा है तो मतलब हमारे कोड में कुछ प्रॉब्लम है इसलिए एरर आ रहा होगा.
हाँ, कोड में प्रॉब्लम क्या होता है, रन टाइम एरर की हमने बात की. एक तो होता है कंपाइल टाइम एरर, ठीक है, एक होता है मान लो 1/0 लिखते हो ना, तब भी एरर आती है ना.
यस सर.
अगर आप तो 1/0 लिखते हो तो कौन टाइप की एरर आती है? ऑब्वियस सी बात है, जावा उसको क्या बोलते हैं, इनफाइनाइट हो जाता है. सी में तो बस एरर आ गई, जावा में उस एरर को कहते हैं अर्थमेटिक एक्सेप्शन. अर्थमेटिक टाइप का एक एक्सेप्शन बना दिया. किस तरह के अर्थमेटिक ऑपरेशन में एरर होती है, मान लो आपने कोई फाइल रीड की, उस पर्टिकुलर लोकेशन पे फाइल है ही नहीं, तो सी उसमें क्या होगा, ऑब्वियसली लोकेशन फाइल नहीं होगी तो एरर होकर प्रोग्राम रन नहीं करता ना. बट जावा में क्या होगा कि फाइल अगर नहीं भी होगी तो वो आपका फाइल नॉट फाउंड एक्सेप्शन देगा, उसके बाद का प्रोग्राम एग्जीक्यूट कर जाएगा आपका. ऐसा नहीं है कि पूरा प्रोग्राम एग्जीक्यूट ही नहीं करेगा. जबकि सी में क्या होता है कि वो अगर रन टाइम पे एरर आ गई तो प्रोग्राम टर्मिनेट होता है. यहाँ रन टाइम पे एरर आने के बाद भी प्रोग्राम टर्मिनेट नहीं होगा, उसको हैंडल कर लिया जाएगा. वो कैसे हैंडल किया जाएगा वो हमने देखा जाएगा. लेकिन एरर प्रोग्राम लिखते समय लॉजिक में एरर नहीं होगी, रन टाइम पे ऐसे इनपुट दिए जाएंगे या इस तरीके के ऑपरेशंस होंगे जिसकी वजह से एरर जनरेट हो रही है. रन टाइम एरर वही होती है ना जो रन टाइम पे जनरेट होती है. बेसिकली देयर इज नो कंपाइल टाइम एरर, बट रन टाइम एरर में बी जनरेटेड. ओके, आप रीड लाइन कर रहे हो, स्ट्रिंग रीड करने के दे रहे हो, लेकिन इसको स्ट्रिंग मिल ही नहीं रही है, तो ऑब्वियस सी बात है वो एक एक्सेप्शन जनरेट कर सकता है, इनपुट आउटपुट एक्सेप्शन. या कोई फाइल रीड करने जा रहे हो, फाइल मिल ही नहीं रही है, तो obvious बात file not found exception is generated. So how can we handle that particular exception? So basically there are various classes of exceptions. There are various classes of exceptions, and there are various two ways, basically mainly two ways to handle the exception. Either just throw मतलब क्या हो रहा है, इसने इसको फेंक दिया तो कोई ना कोई कैच करेगा. ऑब्वियस सी बात है, ये अगर ये थ्रो कर रहा है तो अब ये कौन सी क्लास थ्रो कर रही है, मेन क्लास थ्रो कर रही है. मेन क्लास किसको थ्रो करेगी, तो वो ऑब्वियसली बात है जावा वर्चुअल मशीन को थ्रो करेगी, क्योंकि मेन को कॉल जावा वर्चुअल मशीन ने किया है. वो हम लोग पूरा डिटेल में देखेंगे कि बेसिकली कैसे थ्रो का पूरा प्रोपोगेशन होता है. ओके, एरर प्रोपोगेट कैसे करती है, तो वी विल सी इन द सेपरेट चैप्टर. एक्सेप्शन हैंडलिंग इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट प्रॉपर्टी ऑफ जावा प्रोग्रामिंग, बट since basically you have to take the input from the keyboard with the help of certain input output streams for doing the assignment. So for that till then basically you can write like this, throws input output exceptions, and just take the buffer reader and input string reader class. Okay, or either you can basically use the scanner class also. So so in this way basically you can is it clear? पूरी तरीके से तो क्लियर नहीं होगा, बेसिकली एक्सेप्शन पूरा डिटेल में पढ़ाना पड़ेगा मेरे को, ठीक. बट एक्सेप्शन इज रन टाइम एरर, इट इज नॉट द कंपाइल टाइम एरर. ओके प्रोग्राम लिखते समय गलती होने की बात नहीं होती है. इफ यू राइट द प्रोग्राम एंड इफ यू गिव द पाथ, तो व्हेन द प्रोग्राम इज एग्जीक्यूटेड, तो at that particular moment the file is not found, so basically error is generated. If you write a program like 1 by 0, any mathematical operation, so basically 1 by 0 is not executed, so arithmetic exception is generated. Okay, there is another types of exception like null pointer exception. If there is problem of referencing, then null pointer exception is generated. Okay, array out of bound exception. If you declare any array and if you go out of the bound of array, then array out of bound exception is generated. So there are various errors, exceptions, runtime exceptions are generated in the case of Java, but in the Java you can handle it very easily. Handle मतलब program execute कर जाएगा, error नहीं आएगी, you can handle it. Okay. So I equal to integer dot parse init. So in this way, you will be able to take the input from the keyboard. So if you run the program, enter the element 5, suppose, enter the element 7, enter the element. Okay. So basically you can enter 5 elements. So simply with the help of buffer reader class, you will be able to enter the array element. Okay. Here, the another concept, another, suppose if I initialize, suppose here array is initialized, fine. If you enter the array, so array is initialized, and then suppose if you would like to print the array, so it is very easy to print the array. Suppose if you would like to print the array after the initialization, so how can you print the array? With the help of for loop. Just see here, in order to print the array, so I need to traverse the array with the help of this. And there is one more type of for loop in Java. There is another way of another type of for loop. Basically, this is very simple for loop, which is also used in C or C++. And if you would like to print the whole array, so just you print the array like this. In this way, if you run the program, to enter the elements, suppose 2, 4, 6, 8, 4 again. So now after entering all the elements are printed. Okay, with the help of for loop. But in Java, there is one more type of for loop, that is for each loop. For each loop. For each loop क्या है? For each loop, basically what is the syntax of for each loop is, the syntax is like this. For data type of array, colon, data type of array, then variable name, any variable name like I, and then colon and array name. This is the for loop, for each loop. This is called for each loop. So data type, variable, array name. It means I just try to write for each loop. So for integer is the data type of array, I is the variable, and then colon, and what is the array? Array is the A. Right? And now here, how actually this for loop, for each loop, this type of loop is called as for each loop. Okay, for each loop. So how actually this particular loop is executed? So here A is the array, and when this for loop is executed, for each means each element of this particular array. In each iteration, basically a particular element is traversed. I, in the first iteration, I becomes A0. In the second iteration, I becomes A1. In the third iteration, I becomes A2. So in place of AI, you need to just write only I. In place of AI, you can write like I. For each means here, if you write I, so in the first iteration, I becomes A0. In the second iteration, I becomes A2. In the third iteration, I becomes A3. So in this particular case, there is no need to pass the length of array. There is no need to pass the length of array. So here, we, basically, generally, this type of for each loop is used in the case of array of class type. Generally, in the case of array of class type, this type of for each loop is used. Okay. Now, this type of loop is called as for each loop. Now come to the, I just stop sharing here and again share my screen. Okay. So this is the first dimensional array, 1D array. Now come to the 2D array. Come to 2D array. So in Java, 2D array is treated as array of array. Array of array means 2D array is array of array. It means if I declare an array of 2D array of suppose integer, this is how 2D array is declared. Okay, this is how 2D array is declared. Okay, it means a 2D array is declared of which size? 3 cross 5 means a matrix is matrix like 3 rows and 5 columns. 3 rows and 5 columns. But in Java, actually, array of 3 cross 5 means an array of 3 element is generated. Array of 3 element is generated. This is means if you write like this in new integer 3 5. So basically row indicates, take second, 1 minute. Okay, sorry for interruption. Now, where we are? Okay, so here, so two-dimensional array in the case of Java is array of array. Array of array means that this row indicates a 1D array of size 3. So here a single 1D array is created, and here the first element of this 1D array is also an array of size 5. And this, the second element is also the size 5. And the third element is also the size 5. Five? Okay. So this is basically the new concept in Java. The 2D array is treated as the array of array. Okay. The first, that is row, indicates a 1D array of size 3, and the column part means the first element of this particular array is again 1D array of size 5. Size 5 and size 5, and this is of size 3. And what is the significance of this is, in this way, we can create the array, means basically Java basically provides a feature like this. Okay, if we can create the 2D array like this, means if I change the size 5 to 4, and if I would like to change the size 5 to 3, and if I would like to change the size 5 to 2, suppose. Okay, how can you declare the array like this? The problem is, if you declare the array, it means all the three elements, all the three array is of the same size. Okay, यहाँ चाहे 5 लिखे, यहाँ चाहे 6 लिखे, but the each element of array is of same size in the case of 2D array. In the case of 2D array, the each element of this 1D array is of same size. But Java basically provides a facility that you may change the size of each element of this 1D array. So for that particular purpose, you need not to mention the size here. You need not to mention this particular size. If you give the size, so basically this is behave as a 2D array. This is behave as a 2D array. But if you do not give the size here, so in that case, just see, if I write like this, integer a and new integer, suppose 3. Okay, if I declare the array like this, so in this case the column part is not specified. Column is not specified. Yani column size is not fixed. Column is not specified. It means column size is not fixed. We can change the size of column. So here if you write like this, it means an array of single dimension is created of which size 3. Like 3 means an single dimensional array is created. The first element is A0, the second element is A1, the third element is A2. Fine. So if I would like to create an array of size, suppose 4 here for this particular element, how can I create the size? A0 is equal to, again, new integer 4. So it means this A0 points to an again 1D array of size 4. And if I write A1 equal to new integer, suppose 5, that means the second element is of size 5. And A2 is equal to new integer, suppose 6. The second element means refer to an array of size 6. So this array of array concept is called as, this is the, a concept that is called as jagged array. Jagged array, J-A-G-G-E-D, jagged array. Actually, this is also implemented in the case of C with the help of array of pointers. I hope if you remember that array of pointers, if you declare, if you create an array of pointer, means here if you declare an array of pointer, it's array of, what is array of pointer? Each element of array is a pointer. Array of pointer means each element of array is a pointer. And since each element can store the address, so basically each element stores the address of a single array. Means in the case of C programming language, you can achieve this with the help of array of pointer. Array of pointer. You can also achieve this. Okay, you can also create an array of pointers, and with the help of each element, because each element is a pointer, and that can refer to a 1D array of different size. Okay. Similarly, in the case of Java, this is provided like this. Okay. What is the application of this type of jagged array? Suppose if you would like to store the name of student in an array, means array of array. So suppose there is an array of 100 students, and each element is the name of, suppose this particular first element points to the first name of student, the first student name, second element points to second student's name, the third student's point to third student's name, and four students point to four students name, something like that. In this type of application, basically you can create jagged array. Okay, so this is the advantage in the case of Java programming. Okay, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so another concept is basically you can you have declared array, 1D array, 2D array, jagged array, and you will be able to initialize the array. Now the another concept is passing array to a method. Passing array to a method. Passing array to a method. Array के अंदर method, sorry, method के अंदर array pass करना है. Basically, in the case of C programming language, how can you pass the array? So basically, in the case of C programming language, in order to pass the array, you need to pass the base address of array. Pass the base address of array. What is base address of array? Basically, array name. Array name basically itself the base address of array. And just pass the base address of array, and with the help of base address, you can perform the pointer arithmetic, and you can traverse whole array. This is the case in the case of C programming language. In the case of Java, the concept is somehow similar, but without using pointer. Basically, Java में pointer externally होता नहीं है, वो internally चलेंगे. How can you pass the array? Just you need to pass the array name. Pass the array name in method. In method. Pass the array name in method. Means suppose there is a method m. How can you pass? And suppose there is an array integer a. Just pass a here. And in the definition part, you need to declare, you need to take this particular array in a separate array like this. You can take this here in the definition part, because there is no pointer concept. So here basically B will take the A reference. And now with the help of B, you will be able to traverse whole the array. So this is somehow similar to the C programming language. You can pass the array. Just pass the array name. Okay. So I'm not going to discuss here detail. Basically, I think you will be able to run the program like this. Is there any problem in this particular case? Because इस तरह C में आप कर चुके हो. Similarly, you can return the array from the method. Similarly, you can return the array. Okay. So this is all about the array in Java. Is there any question you can ask? Otherwise, you do the program and explore it.
Sir?
Yes.
While passing matrices, like should we specify the dimensions or something like that, like we did in C?
Just like in C, basically you need to pass the length also in order to track, na? But since in Java basically array is an object and there is a method length, na length method milta hi hai. So with the help of length method you will be able to find out the dimension of that particular array. तो इन दिस केस से आपको यहाँ पर पास करने की जरूरत नहीं है. अगर आप 1D एरे पास करते हो सी में तब भी तो आपको लेंथ पास करनी ही पड़ती है ना. बेसिकली यू नीड टू पास द लेंथ ऑफ दैट पर्टिकुलर एरे. फाइन.
Yes, sir.
Because in
And
Java,
also,
in C there is no method to find out the length of array, but in Java is an object of dynamic generated class and length is a method. You can pass that. Yes.
So what I meant was when we pass the matrix, right? So in C we have to write int a square bracket and we have to mention the number of rows, right? Like it's compulsory to at least mention the number of rows for C.
Okay, means basically you need to mention pass the row, na, at least basically in case of C. But in
Yes,
case of
sir.
Java, in order to, no, there is no need actually. There is no need to pass the length row and either row or either column. Fine, there is no need to pass the means in length here in the case of Java. जावा में आपको अलग से लेंथ पास करने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी. एक बार ट्राई करके देखना, लेंथ पास करने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी. सी में करनी पड़ती है क्योंकि सी में बेसिकली यू नीड टू परफॉर्म अरिथमेटिक ऑपरेशंस ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ लेंथ आल्सो बिकॉज यू नीड टू ट्रैवर्स द एरे up to such certain length. But basically in the case of Java, with the help of variable name of array, you will be able to find out the length. You will be able to find out the length of that particular array, and if you will be able, basically length pass करते ही क्यों है? length इसलिए pass करते हैं ना कि हमको बताना होता है कि किस टाइप की array है. But basically in the case of Java, you can you will be able to find out with the help of length method. So there is no need to pass it. ठीक, जरूरत नहीं पड़नी चाहिए. हाँ, okay. So just take a 5 minutes of break, then we will discuss string. Okay, we will discuss string discuss करेंगे. Just take a 5 minutes break. Okay. Okay. So the next topic is string. Java string. So similar to Java array, string is also an object. Okay? In Java string is also an object. And in Java, string is also a class. Here, string is basically an object that represent the sequence of character. Okay, a string is basically an object that represent a sequence of characters. So string is an object of a string class. In Java, there is a class that is a string class. So we can create the string with the help of a string class, and string can also be used in the form of data type. In the form of data type means if I write a string s, so s is a variable of which type? String type. And if I write a string s equal to suppose hello, it means an hello is generated and stored in this string. So this is the first way of creating any string. In this case, how basically hello is stored? Actually, if you declare the string like this, so what Java virtual machine will do, Java virtual machine creates an object and store the hello over it. Yeah, and store the string. It stores the string hello. And that is referred by s. That object is referred by x. The another way of declaring string, since string is a class, एक तरीका और है. This is the one way of declaring a string. The another way of declaring a string with the help of new operator. With the help of new keyword or new operator, you can write like this: string s equal to new string. Just call the constructor of string, and this constructor can take a string literal like hello. Okay. So this method, the first method, is called as string creation, string object creation by using string literal. Literal means this hello. This is a string literal, example of a string literal. The another way is by new keyword. So there are two ways. Okay. In Java, basically when you create the string like this, string s equal to hello, here a object is created and hello is stored at that particular memory location. So here, if a string is created like this, so string takes a memory location. That memory location is called as string constant pool. That memory location is called as string constant pool. Okay. So what is the significance of storing string in string constant pool? So basically storing string in string constant pool in order to improve the memory management, or you can say that basically for increasing the efficiency of memory, Java is having the facility to store the string in the case of a string constant pool. But now the question is how basically string constant pool enhance the memory efficiency. Okay. If I take an example here, पहले ही देख लेते हैं कैसे मेमोरी में फायदा होगा. So if I take an example, suppose if I write a string s1 equal to hello. Similarly, if I write a string s2 equal to hello. Okay. So this is the first line of the program. This is the second line, suppose, of the program. This is the first statement. This is the second statement. So when I write a string s1 equal to hello, so a memory in the string constant pool area of heap memory, string constant pool area of heap memory, because the object is stored only in the heap memory area, but in the heap memory area there is a separate area that is a string for a string constant pool. So in this memory area, hello is created. So further, if I would like to again create the separate string that is also hello, so what Java virtual machine will do, Java virtual machine searches in the string constant pool whether hello is already declared or not. If hello is already there, so there is no need to create another memory for hello. What h2 will refer? H2 again refer to that particular memory location. It means there are two pointers in the stack, s1 and s2, both refer to the same memory location. There is no need to create the separate memory location. Okay, there is no need to create the separate memory location. And since this memory area is shared by all, the reference variable which share the same string, due to this reason, actually the Java string is immutable in nature. Immutable or mutable? Java string is immutable. Okay, immutable in nature. Immutable means you cannot change the Java string. Immutable. Okay. Immutability means you cannot modify the Java string. So suppose if I would like to change the hello, suppose any string is declared like hello, and suppose if I write string s3 equal to s1, yeah, just I take another example, एक और example ले लेते हैं, in order to show the immutability feature of Java string. Suppose there are two strings, string s1 equal to hello and a string s2 equal to word. So if I add a string, suppose s2, if I would like to modify the s2 plus s1 plus s2. So what s1 plus s2, this plus is concatenation operation, this plus is concatenation operation. So means here hello word is concatenated with each other, that should be assigned to s2. So it means s2 is changed, means hello word is changed to hello word or something else. So basically, since Java is immutable, Java string is immutable in nature. So basically, this string is you cannot modify the string. But here in this example, if you print the s2, so basically hello world is printed. So what is the reason behind this logic? क्या है इसका मतलब? Can anyone tell? If I print the system.out.println s2, so basically hello world is printed. But Java string is immutable in nature, but here you can see that word is changed to hello world. Word is modified to hello world.
Sir, I think we can assign different values to the string variable, but once we assign it, that assigned value, we can't modify it. So for example, I can't, from that hello string, I can't change the E. Like,
Means acha, you cannot change the particular character. You told that.
oh yes, sir.
Yeah, you cannot change the particular character, but modification means okay, you cannot modify the string. So modification means, if modification doesn't mean addition, so again basically addition itself means modification. Means अगर सोचा जाए तो modification means modification includes the addition also. So basically the logic is like that. Just see the memory, how the memory is created. If hello is declared, just see, then you will be able to understand it clearly how actually internally it will happen. So when initially a string s1 equal to hello, so in the heap memory area, there is a constant pool, string constant pool, where the hello is stored. That is basically stored as an object that is referred by s1, no problem. Similarly, in the another constant memory area, there is word is stored, that is referred by s2. See, when you would add a hello and word, so it basically, just see it very carefully. Actually, when you add hello with word, actually that hello word is stored in the separate memory allocation rather than here. And here when you write s2 equal to s1 plus s2, it means now s2 a pointer is removed and now s2 points to this hello word. Word is actually there in the memory location, but you have not any pointer to refer word then. Okay, this is the case. Actually s2 is referred to the new memory location, that is hello world, but previously s2 referred to the word. Actually there is a, I think a method like hash code, I do not remember it. Hash code, with the help of hash code, I think you will be able to find out the basically address. Okay, just I try to, एक काम करते हैं, देख लेते हैं, चेक करके देख लेते हैं. I try to find out the address here. Okay, so this is basically how memory is allocated. I just try to explore it, okay, with the help of program. I just write a program and try to see project. Just write new class, suppose string test. String test is the class name. Okay, now public static void main. Okay, suppose if I write a string s1 equal to hello, okay, and string s2 is equal to word. I just try to see, is there any method of string class, try to find out the address s1 and s2 hello world. Okay, acha, if I write here s1 is equal to h2, suppose if I write s1 equal to h2, so both are same or both are different? Both are different. S1 equal to h2. So if s1 equal to h2, then system dot out dot print, दोनों को देखते हैं कि बराबर है कि नहीं. सपोज both are equal. Okay. See, If I run the program, so both are not equal. So basically there is nothing is printed. Fine. Suppose if I write here hello, it means when I write string s1 equal to hello, so a memory is allocated in a string constant pool, and s2 refer to the same memory location. Okay, that means both are equal. Here both are equal. Okay, here both are equal. It doesn't mean that hello is equal. Actually, the s1 and s2 points to the same memory location. Okay. So is there any ways to print out the s1 and s2? Suppose here देखते हैं print करके system dot out dot print s1 dot hash कुछ है hash code. Okay, s1 dot hash code. If I print this hash1 dot hash code and control C h2 dot hash code. If I print both the value, so here you can see that both the hash values are same because both refer to the same memory location. The value which are printed over the screen is this 99162322. Okay, both values are same. Suppose this is word WORD. This is word hello world. So it means now s1 and s2s are different. S1 and s2s are different. If I run the program, both the values are different. Fine, no problem. If suppose if I write a string s3 is equal to s1 plus s2. See, if I write a string s3 is equal to s1 plus s2, and if I try to print not s3, if I just write here s2, okay, after this particular line, ऐसा करते हैं, इसको कट करते हैं, इस लाइन के बाद क्यों प्रिंट करा रहे हैं, क्योंकि हम देख रहे हैं कि चेंज होता है कि नहीं. h2 is equal to s1 plus s2 already defined लिखा है ना, h2 is equal to, तो string is already defined, so this h2 equal to s1 plus s2. Now s2 equal to s1 plus s2, now s2 becomes, so if I try to print the s2, so what is the output of s2? I try to print h2, so what should it print? So it should print actually hello world rather than word. Okay, if I print this, here hello world is printed. Fine, no problem, hello world is printed. But now the thing is, hello world is printed means Java string is, if you see in the program, the word is changed to hello world. Fine, but actually Java string is immutable in nature. How can you check this? Initially the hash code of h2 is this, and after when you assign h2 is equal to s1 plus h2, the hash code should be changed. Hash code should be changed. Hash code should be changed here. After this, if you run the program, so here basically hash code is changed. Why hash code is changed? Because now h2 points to some another memory location where actually the hello world is stored. Okay, where actually the hello world is stored. And
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
So you said that we could not get the memory location. Then how we are getting the memory location here using hash code?
Basically, internally it stores the memory location, but you cannot perform any operation over that. Okay, you cannot, because you doesn't have any pointer here. Okay, if you have any pointer, then you can perform pointer arithmetic operation. But in Java, basically there is no such concept of external pointer is there. You can find out the hash code. Hash code basically represent a means memory address of the where actually s1 refers to. But with the help of that particular memory location, you cannot perform any operation because there is no such external pointer type of concept. So there is no significance of finding the memory address of Java particular. But memory address होगा तो है ही कुछ ना कुछ. But you cannot perform pointer arithmetic operation. However, internally in Java there are certain concepts. Internally तो obvious ही बात है, उसको memory कुछ ना कुछ perform तो कर ही रहा होगा. But you have not any basically Java features so that you can perform operations on the memory. But in the case of C, basically you takes the memory location and stores that particular memory location in some variable. Okay, and with the help of that variable, you can perform arithmetic operations. And with the help of arithmetic operation, you can access subsequent memory location also. But in the case of Java, you will not be able to access that. Okay, is it clear? आप उसका यूज करके आगे नहीं बढ़ सकते हो. You cannot basically use that particular memory location. Basically, this is just for the sake of understanding that ki hello world means word that is referred by the h2 variable. Now h2 variable points to the different memory location, and now the word pointer is missing. Okay, word reference is missing. A word आप access नहीं कर सकते हो. Now you will not be able to access the word because the word pointer is missing. Because when you overwrite that particular memory location, you will not be able to access the word. Okay, this is the thing. Okay, so I think with the help of this example, you will be able to understand that Java string is immutable in nature. Okay, you cannot modify it. You cannot modify it means you cannot modify over the world. Basically, hello world is stored in separate memory allocation. Word is already there. The word is not modifiable. Word is not modifiable. The separate memory location is created for hello world. Okay, so this is the basically drawback of string class. Now, since string is a class, so there is a various types of methods of string class. There are various types of methods of string class also. कुछ classes के method हैं string class के. Just I share the screen again. Okay. Basically, the address which is found by the hash code, that is basically in the form of hexadecimal number. Okay, that is represented in the form of hexadecimal. There are various methods are there for string class. Sorry. There are various methods, string class methods. There are various methods, you can explore it. Method like concatenation method, length method. So basically you can use it if you would like to compare two strings. So there is equals method. Okay, and here a string is a parameter. Similarly, you can pass the string in order to find out the length. You need to pass the string in order to concatenate it. Okay, and there are another method like compare two methods. In order to compare one string with another string. Okay. And this is basically based on the dictionary order or dictionary order compared to method. So concatenation length equals compared to others method. Also, there are another method in order to find out the substring. There is a substring method. Okay. So basically, this substring method will take two parameters. The first parameter is the first index, and this is the last index. जहाँ पर आपको substring निकालनी है. Okay. So there are various methods. You can just and there is another method like in order to convert uppercase to lowercase to uppercase. So there are another methods to uppercase. You just explore the method of of string class. Okay. So I'm not going into the detail of this all methods. You just explore it by yourself. Okay. Now, so since Java string is immutable in nature, but in sometimes string mutability is required. Okay, because in the case of immutability, memory is means if you add hello and worlds. So in the case of strings, a separate memory is allocated for hello world, and hello is also hello also takes the memory. However, there is no reference for it. Okay. So in order to sort out this problem, there are another classes. There are two main classes. One is a string buffer class. Another one is a string builder class. String buffer and string builder class. So both classes creates the string that is mutable in nature. That is mutable. You can modify it. And there are certain modification functions also, append, like append function, insert function. There are various mutable functions also. So the string which is created by the string buffer class and string builder class, so that string is mutable in nature. Okay. So how can you create the string with the help of a string buffer class? So just like the string, the string buffer is a class, so you can create a string like this, s equal to new string buffer, new string buffer, and just create any string literal hello. Okay. In this way you can create the string buffer class. So there are various methods of a string buffer class like append and insert. So basically there is append and insert methods which basically shows that a string is mutable in nature. So in this case, there is no separate memory location is created for modified string. But in the case of a string class, a separate memory allocation is created for the modified string. So similarly, this is the string buffer class. So basically in Java, in order to study any features, so basically you need to explore the different classes. There are two classes I have told you that in basically after the JDK 1.5, a string builder class came into existence. Okay, a string builder class came into existence. So however, there is a string buffer class is there, but there is a problem in string buffer class, that is string buffer class is thread safe. It is thread safe. So basically when you study the thread, then you will be able to understand that what is the meaning of thread safe. Thread safe means if multiple threads are running on, if multiple threads are running on a same strings, wait 1 minute. It is thread safe. It's thread safe, and this one is not thread safe. Not thread safe. Okay. Thread safe means there is no synchronization issue. There is no synchronization issue. There is no synchronization issue is there. Okay. There is no synchronization issue means if there are multiple threads are there, so multiple threads cannot access the same strings simultaneously. Okay. So in order to basically achieve these features, so there is a concept of thread synchronization. Thread synchronization means one thread, basically if one thread works on a particular strings, so no other threads can able to access that particular string at that particular moment. But similarly, in the case of string buffer, there is no need of it. So it will improve the performance. But if you would like to do the multi-threaded programming, and if you would like to achieve the thread safe features, then you will prefer the string buffer. Otherwise, you can use the string builder class. Actually, you will be able to understand it when we will study the multiple thread. So a string builder class, just for the thumb rule, string builder class is used when there is only one thread, because there is no synchronization is there amongst thread. So only one thread is there, then you can use string builder class. But if in the case of multi-threaded programming, just use the string buffer class. Okay, this is basically the difference between string builder and string buffer. And how to basically explore these two classes, just take the classes and just see the constructor. Okay, just see the constructors and methods of classes. Why the constructors are required? Constructors are required to create how many ways to create the object of a string buffer and a string builder class. So basically there are various constructors are defined. So basically you can choose any constructor as per your need. And after, with the help of constructor, after creation of the object, you can access various methods of string buffer or string builder class as per your requirement in order to perform operation over the string. Okay. So you can see the list of string buffer and string builder class from any website and just try to perform operation over that particular. So that is not actually, that is not a very big deal. Basically, if you know the constructor syntax and if you know the method syntax, you can access the method as well as you can create the object. So this is, there are three ways to create the string. One is by using the string class, another is by using a string buffer class, string builder class. Fine. So this is all about the array and string chapter. Now you will be able to complete the assignment related to the array and strings. And from the next turn, we will discuss the features inheritance, Java inheritance. So there is one more topic that is left out. One more subtopic that is left out, that is command line argument. Command line argument. Okay. How can you give the command line argument? So basically in Java, that is very simple, because in the main method, public, when you write public static void main, if you write like this, public static void main and a string arguments. So what does it mean? Actually, this means this is used for the command line argument. A0 means if you run the program like Java class name, if you write Java class name, and if the first parameter is supposed to 10 and the second parameter is 20, so actually this A0 is the first parameter and A1 is the second parameter. Okay, so if you would like to perform, suppose any command line argument, and if you would like to add this two number, so just you need to parse, because A0 is a string, A1 is a string, but here A0 is a number, A2 is a number. So you need to parse it as integer. So integer dot parse in it and integer dot parse in it, apply this and just try to add this two number by A0 and A1. So in this way, basically you can take the command line argument. That is very, very easy in the case of Java programming language. Okay. String argument array. Is there any confusion? You may ask the question. Otherwise, I think the basic means class and object, string and array is over. And from the next turn, we will discuss about the inheritance feature.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, if we are taking string as an input and set, we are after that we use the replace string method
and then comparing the hash code of the two, so it is coming same.
Replace.
Yes, sir.
Replace method of which particular
Sir,
class?
yes, a string. Replacing, sir, any particular character if you.
If you replace the character, then hash code is same.
Yes, sir. Sir, in any string, sir, suppose I write my name and
Means
I
suppose
replace any.
if you write suppose string as equal to any name,
Yes, sir.
suppose Amit, suppose, okay, and then you s dot replace
Yes, sir.
and replace, इसको replace कर रहे हो ना आप?
सर लाइक एम को अगर मैं टी कर दूं, उसके बाद सर मैं दोनों केसेस में हैश कोड कंपेयर करूं तो सर वो सेम आ रहा है.
ओके इसको असाइन नहीं कर रहे हैं ना किसी में हम लोग अभी, हैश डॉट रिप्लेस कर रहे हैं ना, तो हैश कोड सेम आ रहा है इसका. जस्ट ट्राई एक मिनट इसको करके देखना है. सपोज एस इक्वल टू अमित एंड एस डॉट रिप्लेस इक्वल टू एस करते हैं तब भी सेम आ रहा है.
सर एक्चुअली आई ट्राइड जस्ट नाउ विद माय नेम.
Okay, just try to see it here. Let me just share my screen. Suppose s2 is equal to hello, and if I write s2 is equal to dot replace, suppose if I write this, इसको किससे रिप्लेस कर रहे हैं? सपोज इफ s2 is replaced by suppose any string s3.
No, sir. Sir, I am not replacing the complete string. Sir, I am replacing characters of a string.
Okay, you are basically replacing on the character. Basically, you take the method definition and character, only character.
Yes, sir.
Means character h2 को किससे जैसे o को रिप्लेस कर दें अगर हम, if you replace the character o with p, h2 प्रिंट करा लेते हैं. ठीक है, o is replaced by t. ठीक, and suppose before replacing if I try to print the h2 hash code here, h2 dot hash code, after printing it again h2 dot hash code. Okay, एक्चुअली द वैल्यू ऑफ h2 इज डिफरेंट. अच्छा, जब यहाँ असाइनमेंट करके कर रहे हैं तो चेंज हो रहा है. इफ आई चेंज h2 इक्वल टू h2 डॉट रिप्लेस देन एक्चुअली इट विल चेंज, बट व्हेन आई रिमूव दिस then I try to print it out. then both are same. Okay, means here when H2 is replaced, but if I assign it to the H2, then it is different. We need to make the inference from this. Means if I apply the assignment operator, in that particular case, the hash code is different. But it means hash code is different. It means now H2 refer to the different memory location where actually the O is replaced with T. Fine. But if I do not assign this, it means if I do not assign this, it means the pointer is not changed actually in that particular case.
So isn't that because if we don't assign it, the value of S2 doesn't change?
Yes, actually, yes. If do not assign it, it means the value of H2 doesn't change. Means value of H2 means H2 value, yes, value of H2 doesn't change if you do not assign it. But the content of content is changed. And basically H2, wait a second, is there any confusion?
So sir, like if you remove S2 equal to,
Yes, then the values are same. If I remove this, okay, then H2 H2 dot hash code, H2 dot hash code both are same. Okay,
so
but
but
if I
even the content of S2 is same.
the content is changed, na? Content, okay, just I check this H2. Okay. Yeah,
So
content
like
is
dot
same.
replace
Okay, fine. Yeah, content is
returns
also same. Okay, content is same in this case. Means basically the content of H2. It means H2 is means it replaces the O with T, but actually उसका memory location नहीं मिल पा रहा हमको. Okay, this H2 actually refer to this word actually. Okay. Okay, fine. This actually, when I print H2 here, so H2 points to word. However, H2 means here the word is replaced with T, but actually that is created in separate memory location, and that you need to basically try to find out that particular memory location with the help of H2 or S3 and some another variable. Then H2 is changed. Okay, got it. इज इट क्लियर? ये समझ में आया कि H2 when I write H2 dot replace, तो actually when I do not assign H2 dot replace to some another H2, so actually that H2 refers to the original word. Not not in this particular case string is changed, but if I write H2 equal to H2, now we get the memory location of the modified string. Okay, now if I run the program, so actually O is replaced by the T. Okay, fine. So logic is correct. String is not modified in this case also. If you replace certain thing, means if you replace thing, means memory address is change also. Memory address change हो रहा है इस केस में भी. जो modified string है उसका change हो रहा है actual में. Fine.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Got it.
Okay. Okay, so then thank you. In the next time we will discuss about the inheritance chapter. Thank you.
Thank you,
Okay.
sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.